I was having the most wonderful good night's sleep when suddenly I woke up to the sound of keyboard and the wind blowing straight into my face. Someone was very seemingly remotely typing a message on my computer screen. And this message ended with the words, "If fate frowns, we all perish." Thunder was rolling and the scariest music of my life filled the room as the Penumbra Overture logo appeared right before me. Scared and confused and without any filler image on this part of the video, I knew only one thing I should do. I should call Philip and see what the fuck is going on. I swear to God, it's Philip. Every time something like this happens, it's Philip. Why? Hey Philip, why was there a gigantic Penumbra logo in my living room?
How it would vanish from my mother's life before I was even in it.
That is definitely sad, but it doesn't explain the Penumbra logo.
So when he sent me a letter a few days after Mum's funeral, it was the first I'd ever heard from him.
Well, you are really good at being sentimental, with the sad piano in the background and everything.
Writing from beyond the grave must be a genetic habit in my bloodline.
Did you say writing or rotting? Rotting from beyond the grave is pretty common for dead people, is it not?
Clearly averse to explanations, my father preferred to leave directions to a bank on Mayfair I'd never even heard of.
Bank on Mayfair? More like wank off Mayfair, as you still haven't explained why there was a gigantic Penumbra logo in my living room.
I discovered that despite the evidence, he'd been legally declared dead almost 30 years ago, and so the old book and collection of notes I found had, in the eyes of the law, been mine all this time.
I'd be disappointed that he didn't leave behind any gold.
The book was indecipherable. The notes, however, showed a location somewhere in uninhabited northern Greenland.
Well, great. He's gonna drag me into one of these everyday Greenland adventures of his. Well, I decided that I'm not going. I'm staying home. I'm gonna stay warm and toasty. There's no way that I'm gonna freeze to death somewhere in the middle of nowhere in the Greenlands where no one can find me at all. Please and thank you. This adventure ends here before it... Well, god fucking damn it. If there was ever a time I was doomed, it would be now. I just woke up in the middle of nowhere, Philip is not down here with me. For all I know, he just drugged me and sent me here in a mailbox. And he's at home, sitting on the sofa, wearing bathrobe and drinking tea like a good British man that he is. Laughing at my misery and how I fell for his stupid trap. Anyway, Captain said I have 5 minutes to leave this boat because Philip didn't pay for my return ticket. That stupid bastard. So in the ever-increasing panic and anxiety, I started scanning the room looking for anything that would make my survival at least a little bit easier out there in the wilderness. Then, I discovered the most holy grail of any horror game ever. A flashlight. I also discovered a glow stick. But I was so angry that I destroyed Captain's precious whiskey as a thank you for his wonderful service. And then, all that was left to do was to head out because I couldn't stay on the boat any longer. And now I was completely left alone. My ass was freezing and my fingers were numb and I had to find shelter fast because it was probably at least -2 degrees Celsius outside. And since my fingers were not cold enough already, I decided to pick up an ice-cold rock and carry it with my bare hands, as to test my manliness or something. I call this rock the Rock of Guidance, as it brought me straight to the mysterious hatch and a possible shelter in the middle of the snow. Also, can we appreciate for the moment how someone has taken the time to keep this very specific area clear of snow, just so I can come across someday and find this mysterious hatch, only for me to open it and climb inside, and then halfway down the ladder realize the ladder is broken, and then fall down all the way down to the bottom very comically. After living through my own pathetic prophecy, I think it's some sort of a miracle that I didn't feel any broken bones in my body. Either that or I was just way too full of adrenaline to feel anything at all. But the scary music in this tunnel was getting louder, and the darkness was getting too much, so I decided to dig up my glow stick from the inventory that opens when I press tab on the keyboard. Why would I press a tab on keyboard if I'm lost in the tunnels in the depths of Greenland? I also just had to stop.
Hammer time!
After which I had to so that I could open this crawl space and reach the next room. Little did I know there would be a jump scare greeting my arrival, but luckily I had played this game many times before, so I knew it was coming. I remember this hatch has a jump scare in it. So, I just opened the hatch and didn't have to soil my pants because this place probably has enough soil to offer for me as is. Great! Hopelessly lost in the tunnels and still having no answer to that penumbra logo in my living room, I stumbled upon a mining complex. And a dog. Or at least something that sounds like a dog. Had it been cat or a dog or even a frog, I had to start looking for something that would get me out of here. So I head for the storage because, I don't know, gotta start somewhere. The door is the scariest part, slamming right in my ears. After getting scared by the door and finally leaving my own portion of soil into these tunnels, I heard some unsettling noises behind this door.
How are you? I am under the water. Please help me.
But this bastard had locked himself in, so I was forced to look for that lighter gas in somewhere else. I mean, oh no, I'm lost. I definitely don't know there's a cross place underneath the storage and there's lighter gas in the end of it. Oh no, I feel so helpless. So just for pure intuition, I knew there was a hatch underneath this box in the next room. And while I was down here, I also heard some random whispers in my ears, which I of course reversed just to the power of my mind to hear if I could make any sense out of it, which I don't. Listen for yourself. All that whispering made me so dizzy that it just warped me straight through time to the place where I needed to go. And then I had to open that locked gate. After collecting the lighter gas and heading back, I heard some terrible noises upstairs.
How are you? I am under the water. Please help me.
I rushed upstairs and noticed that the locked door was now open. And that poor bastard had left a key and one final message on the table. Feeling sorry for that poor bastard, I just had to move on. Coming out of the storage, I heard yet another noise. Someone's poor baby dog was lost in these tunnels, and I had to hide because I didn't want to scare the dog. All that playful growling was too tempting for me. So I jumped out of the cover and started running to see if that dog wanted to play run and catch with me. I was able to get a head start, but the dog was really fast, and he was able to catch up with me and start doing his totally harmless blade bites on me. But the last love bite was a bit too much for me, so I had to offer him a snack so he would calm down and leave me alone. Sadly, I had to tell the dog that the playtime was now over, and I had to continue the task of finding a way out of here. And my next destination was the office because, I don't know, reasons. Or just fish. After going through a gigantic emotional roller coaster of witnessing the literal death and playing with adorable puppy, the office provided me with some nice neutral space where I could calm down and stuff my pockets with whatever loot I could find in here. But then I came to a realization. I didn't get a chance to look at myself before leaving. How do I know I'm wearing any clothes? And therefore, how do I know I'm wearing any pockets? The anxiety filled my mind again. If I'm naked. What if the snack the dog was munching on in the darkness was not a snack, but my feeling dizzy after all these horrible thoughts? I had to look down and check in, and I could calm down, because I could confirm that I still, indeed, had my So, I looted this place and I found some painkillers, raw meat, key, and a back screen, whatever that is. Having no clue where to head next, I went straight to the workshop gate, as I knew that's where I would get further. Also knowing that there was a pickaxe in the actual workshop area, having no idea where to go next, I decided to punch in a random code on a workshop door in the hope to get in and find some useful items over there. Misfortune was finally smiling upon me as the door code was correct and I was able to get in. And just by sheer miracle, I was able to find a pickaxe underneath these rocks without even moving a single rock. After that, I ventured deeper down to the workshop as I had a feeling there were more surprising things waiting for me. Then I realized I had sounded like a goddamn news anchor for way too long, so I had to just stop. To get to the last room of this workshop, I had to climb over this electric barrier, and it was shockingly hard. But after feeling a bit electrified and electrified, I finally made it to the back room. And there, I just used my awesome X-ray vision to confirm that this was the barrel that I didn't know I needed to destroy all this time. And then I just had to lubricate this limp noodle and dip it right in to make it nice and hard for some explosive actions. Coming out from the workshop, I remembered seeing a TNT barrel a bit over that way that I didn't even know was there at all. So I went over there and grabbed it because I figured I probably needed it at some point. Eventually though, I just wanted to put this thing down and light it on fire and see what happens. Run, 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 run. It exploded because, well, duh! It apparently also made a hole the size of a fucking birth canal, and this time I just fished through it like it's not even his first time doing that. Also, I'm now looking back up to the hole from the other side, which means I had to come down head first, falling down at least 5 meters, hitting the concrete floor that I'm standing on my neck, which should have made this fall at least 10 times more awkward than the hatch and a ladder in the beginning of the game. But for some reason I came through it feet first, sliding through it very effortlessly like some fucking lubricated Mary Poppins. Eventually though, I had to stop swimming in my own existential crisis and start looking for the answer of that penumbra logo again. And while I was at it, I stumbled upon a generator room. But I decided to not go in just yet, because as a professional electrician and a mechanic with proudly exactly 0 hours of experience, I knew it's gonna need a new fuse before it starts running. And lucky for me, I had a pretty good sniff of where they would keep new fuses in these kind of places. On top of the shelf. Where else? Before heading back, I discovered a broom. So I decided to practice my new upcoming job as an angry janitor. That is, if I make it out of these tunnels. Why is there a broom in this game in the first place? I have played this game multiple times over the years and I have not found an actual purpose for this broom. It doesn't do anything, it's not even a useful weapon. If I would stop swimming in my own personal broom crisis, I would probably start making some useful progress again. Still, in very strong denial about my broom's uselessness, I decided to put it to the test. Yes, very useful, isn't it? There we go, finally. And for whatever reason, the only way to open this box was to drop it down. And logically, of course I had to go climb down, fetch it, because the box content just doesn't appear out of nowhere now, does it? Oh wait, it did. Huh. But my totally legit electrician mechanic skills were put to the real test when I found out I couldn't pull out this fuse just by using my hand. Someone's bright idea was to lock it in with the spring that could only be released by pulling down the main ignition switch. After putting in the fresh fuse, I was also able to set up the generator in correct order without even looking at the instructions because, let's face it, I'm just that good. 0 hours of experience have taught me a lot. Then it was just hey presto, and we got power. In the light, I saw a large gate, and behind that gate, I saw another poor lost dog. I tried to get its attention by jumping a lot, but as there was no gaps to see through the gate, that felt like a hopeless attempt. Then I remembered that I could open anything by just putting a random code in it, so I just did that, and the gate opened. The dog's friendly nature kicked in immediately and he started following me. I tried to make him follow me through the door, but dogs can't open doors, so he didn't follow me after all. Being trapped for so long in these tunnels made me feel sad and lonely. I didn't know where to go next. And worst of all, I still didn't know why there was a penumbra logo in my living room. So, without knowing any better, I stepped through another door. Or I guess I opened the door and then stepped through the door frame. Because door is a solid object most of the time anyway, so you cannot step through it. Although door frame is also a solid object, so perhaps the most correct way is to say I stepped in and out of the hole in the middle of the door frame. So, after being a smartass for just under 23 seconds, I heard a voice in my head.
Those holes in my mind are increasingly gaping.
Whatever he meant with the gaping holes in my mind, I think he would be correct because I've been going for this adventure with just my good old buddy Booze, me, myself and I, and that would probably make anyone go crazy, at least a little bit. But I couldn't shake off this feeling that the voice sounded like it was coming from a walkie-talkie, and I don't even have a walkie-talkie.
Then my stress level spiked up again. What if someone has hijacked my brain? What if those dog love bites were not biting, but installing Elon Musk's Neuralink in my head? That would explain why someone can talk to me with walkie-talkie without even using the walkie-talkie.
I could use the company. It's been way too lonely down here. So, instead of making any bigger number out of this unfortunate situation, I climbed up into the sketchiest tunnel of my life, like a good boy. Even the collapsing tunnel couldn't bring my mood down, because I was about to make new friends. The whole family of spiders wanted to come say hello, and they also wanted to play some tag with me. I of course got really excited about finally having some new friends again, and I wanted to give them a nice tag playing challenge by starting to run through everything in a world record time, if I might add. The spiders were really amazed about how fast I was, but they also accused me of cheating because I bust my way through the rock using my pickaxe, and they also didn't want to jump out the tunnels with me because they were afraid of heights, and that's the end of that friendship, I guess.
There should be some insect repellent in that red and white cross box in that room.
You should have told me before I entered. I mean, how dare you to suggest that I should poison my only friends?
The red tricked you.
There's nothing funny about poisoning my poor spider friends. How would you react if I suggest you should poison your friends, Red? If that's even your real name.
With justice now served cold, I hope that we can be good friends. Now reclaim the key and go-go juice. And find a way to the mining monster.
Whatever he was trying to serve wasn't that cold, and doesn't go-go juice mean alcohol? Wait a minute! Is he trying to get me drunk? I mean, it probably wouldn't be a bad idea to let loose like once, since I'm down here alone and I am kind of feeling a bit woozy already just thinking about getting drunk, you know. Hey waiter, hey waiter, can I have another whiskey please? I'm feeling thirsty already. Waiter, what the fuck I don't want? I need whiskey, quickly. Sadly, I didn't find any whiskey, but I found some gasoline. Then, for whatever fucked up reason, I thought this would be funny. I have a key, I have a gasoline. Gasoline key. But I think it's rather obvious that my abilities to humor myself is in fact nil. But my abilities to find a saw from the toolset that I had forgotten about completely was in fact 200%. Then it was just a hack away and open yet another stay out of here gate to venture even deeper down into this forbidden facility. Beyond this gate, I encountered even more poor lost baby dogs who wanted to play. I wanted to see if they would like to bite on my pickaxe to strengthen their little teeth, but that seemed like a bit too much work for them, so they just went to sleep immediately. After their fun little playtime, I also found the real reason for the gasoline can. It was in fact not for drinking, but for filling up this giant mining machine. I was meant to use that to bust my way through more rocks, as if I haven't done that already enough during this playthrough. I mean, during these unfortunate times in the tunnels. It also made my Neuralink friend Red turn very poetrical, and it probably would have been wholesome if I could actually tell what the hell he was saying behind all those mining noises.
Hide and seek, turn to seek and hide. And I buried them here beneath the solid rock sky.
this story was about to take a turn to the right. Wait for it.
It's because the hallway turned to the right and so. Okay, it was not funny. Sorry. An unfunny joke. Sorry.
An unforeseen friend had wanted to come say hello to me all this time.
Ew, what is it with your mouth, bro? Here, let me fix it for you real quick. Better? Of course it's better. Sadly though, I didn't have a chance to chat with him any longer since he went off to tell everyone how great of a dentist I am. But I did, however, meet my very good friends of spiders, and boy were they up to another great round of tag again. Once again, they were amazed how fast I was breaking another record time, but also they accused me of cheating because I used an automatic unopenable door to seal myself away from them, and so they didn't want to play with me anymore. I ended up into another section of this endless facility, and I felt completely and utterly lost. So I decided to head straight to Refinery because I remember from the last time that I could reach a blocked off section of this section from there. While I was going towards it, another one of those poor lost baby dogs decided to give me a friendly push after he noticed my legs were tired. It wasn't much, but it was an honest bark. Thank you, dog. Here I pressed some random buttons on the control panel to expose the conveyor belt. I grabbed a small engine and sent it up on another conveyor belt. Had your mum's amount of trouble to get back on the first conveyor belt. Stop the blades from killing me. Installed the engine. Listened to Red's whining.
Poor Red is so hungry.
Won a deadly steam lottery. And finally made it to the other side. Honestly, I'd appreciate a bit of a celebration for all this effort. Thank you. Such celebrate, much wow. After getting exactly the amount of celebration I thought I deserved, I wanted to try this local roller coaster drive. I could say this drive was pretty smashing. After audience laughing at my awesome joke, I found a room with some scribbles on the walls. Then I remember that in order to decipher this, I would need the literally only empty piece of paper to write down and find out that there is a door code somewhere in the scribble. But that piece of paper is behind the spider tunnels, and spiders already said that they don't want to play more tag with me anymore, so I didn't want to go bother them. Instead, I went straight down to the door, punched in a random code, and, you know. These endless hallways clearly didn't understand how to get any less endless, so they presented me with another interesting surprise.
An ice lake.
And since I'm from Finland and I like my ice lakes, I didn't even want to wait for the epic music to stop, but I just went straight on to that sketchy lake. On the other side of the lake, someone who was clearly not from Finland didn't want to be on the ice but wanted to be under it instead. Or I guess half the arm is from Finland and the rest of it is not. I have no idea where I'm going with this. He left me a nice crowbar anyway. And of course, just before leaving, I took a nice refreshing dip into the water like a true Finnish man should. Perkele.
Then it was time for the ultimate tag challenge. The giant worm had heard that I cheated and was now coming after me to remove the champion title from me. I had to move fast and use every little cheating trick that I could find from my sleeves. Shut the doors to slow him down. Use the pickaxe to bust the barriers. I even had to swim in the acid. And finally, I had to collapse the entire roof onto him. And
that made Red wild.
Oh,
Yikes. My rumor senses were tingling, and they told me that there was a collapsed tunnel up ahead that I had to open by creating chemical explosion. And since I had no idea what I was doing, I just collected everything that I could find. Then I went straight to the laboratory, where I assembled the science thingy to cook the chemical thingy, and just through some powerful unmatched chemical knowledge, I was able to mix the thing on the first go. And since this thing was just a little bit sensitive, I had to get out of there by literally not touching anything with this mixture. But I didn't, so...
I was finally about to meet Red. Could he finally have the answer for that penumbra logo in my living room? I was going to find out, wasn't I?
Good evening. You actually came.
He was just dirty, and even more dirty.
You came. You are so pretty. I cannot give you the answers you want.
Of course not.
You may wish to find what it is you seek, but that is a fiction.
Since he didn't give me the answer for that penumbra logo, he deserves to die. And I'm gonna burn him. Yay! There we go. And so, now that Red and his stupid Neuralink walkie-talkie was out of the equation, there was nothing left to do than just crank this ominous door open and hopefully leave this place for good.
But then the whole place went dark and there was someone waiting for me.
Excuse me? To be continued? I didn't sign up for this shit. I got sent down here against my own will. I don't want anything to be continued. I wanna go home. This whole place is stupid. It's cold and damp and it smells really bad. And it's full of dogs. Nothing against those dogs though, they were cute. But still! Hello? Is there 911 on the other side or something? Can you come fetch me with a helicopter? I need to go to the hospital anyway because my ring finger has slight bruises on it. I can't stand it. What the fuck, man? This is so stupid. Oh my god. To be continued. What next?